Well, good morning, everyone. This is a continuation of Roadmap to a Million Dollar Business. And one thing I want to just to guide everybody on as you watch these is that we're doing that like an 8-week series, preparing everybody for the new year. And if you want to build a $1 million business, which is what this call is about, like a real walk away, financially independent, residual income that will follow you the rest of your life, then everything is equally as important. You can't just zone in on one thing. So when we talk about doing living room meetings, attending big events, direct approaches, like everything is important. But I'm not sure that anything is more important than what we're covering today. And what we're covering today is the social media system. We call it the slenderized system of growth, where we are able to put things out on social media and attract people to us. Christy Walsh is going to help today. And I'm also going to be calling on other, especially really strong women at this that some of you guys that have sold a couple hundred boxes or more of drops, or you're really good at converting. As we get into each of the little pieces here, I welcome you to chime in. And also welcome people to ask questions along the way, because we want this to be a bit interactive. We kind of never really announced these to keep it a little bit smaller so it could be more interactive and then everybody could go watch them. But because of people asking, we didn't want to act like that. I mean, everybody's always invited. It wasn't ever meant to be private or anything like that. But the first thing I wanted to do today is just cover a little bit of the pay plan so you can understand. I'm not training on the pay plan today. There are pay plan training videos, but you got to understand what we're trying to get accomplished. So we paid our $29.95. We have our own business. The importance of the system of growth is this, is that everyone wants to be in our company at top pay at Ultimate, which is 1,500 points a product. By the way, let me give a disclaimer real quick. I have to do this legally. So just know, we at Partner Co, we all own our own business, and that everybody's income varies. And some people will pay $29.95 and do nothing and make nothing. And some people pay $29.95, get really good at this and go build an absolute empire and retire themselves with our income in the company. It's a business like any other. You open up a coffee shop and you don't serve coffee and give good customer service, people eventually won't be buying coffee or coming in there. Same thing here. You got to get good at this. But so that being said, we all want to be at top pay, but it's prohibitive sometimes financially, because 1,500 points a product, that's going to be about $1.60 per point here in the US, and about $2 if you're looking at this in Canada. So it's going to be about $160 plus shipping. And I'm sorry, it's going to be about 2,000 to 2,600 depending on product combination here in the US, and it's going to be about 3,000 to 3,800 in Canada for 1,500 points. So if I can get a system moving where I'm not buying product just to stock my own house up, but I'm buying product that I can immediately begin retailing on social media, get all of my money back. So for example, the 30 pack of drops, you move 15 boxes and you're back to even. And then the other 15 boxes start creating tremendous profits. So both in the US and Canada, moving a 30 pack of drops in the system you're about to see basically doubles your investment. So if you pay 2,700 here in the US for a 30 pack, and you're going to make about $2,700 profit when you move all 30. And we're going to show you how to do that today. But the reason you want to be at top pay are three big things. Number one, upfront money doubles from 15 to 30%. So when you sign someone up in the business and they start selling or buying for the first 4 Fridays or until they go ultimate, if you're ultimate or top pay, you get 30% instead of 15. That is, it's double the money. It's like same effort, get paid twice as much. You also unlock 3 generations of matching check for life. That is the biggest deal on planet Earth. It's the number one thing about our pay plan. I've never seen it before. I don't think we'll ever see it again, but it literally sets you up that one right person can really build you a large income here, because in our matching check, nobody ever breaks away. We never lose them. You don't get capped out, none of that. And then it also gives you 5 unlocked lines to build on day one if you so choose. Just make sure you have your active auto ship. We like to sign this up. When we put a person in the system, it will not charge. It will be charging you the first time, the 4th Friday from when you sign up. So just look at the calendar. It'll also be listed in your back office there. very, very clearly. The products can be interchanged at any time, but an active auto ship is required to be paid by the company. Okay, so what I wanted you to see is just a couple of things in pay that is the reason for really implementing this skinny drop system into your organization and getting really good at it. So, or body mounts and drops, depending on what you call that in out there in the world. So, number one, just to reiterate, if I'm at top pay, I've got a 30 pack order, I've got 1,500 points of product. I'm now at 30% when I personally sponsor someone and they start selling or buying for the first 4 Fridays they're in the business or until they go ultimate, or you've made $450 US, a little over 600 Canadian. It's up to you whether you start with 2 or 3 legs of business. That's whatever your leader's doing. But eventually, everybody wants to build 3 legs of business because if you build what we call 3 optimizing legs of business, again, this is not a pay plan training, so I'm not going to go real in depth on this, but just know that you get paid 15% unlimited for every leg that you ever build, but the biggest. You're paid on the big leg too in the matching check, but in this area, it's 15% of every leg but the biggest. So if I can get 13,334 points of products sold in 3 legs for the week, and you multiply leg 2 and 3 times 15%, that is 2,000 in base pay on leg 2 and 2,000 of base pay on leg 3. So you've made 4,000 for the week if that occurs. There is a bonus system that we have. When you get a leg to pay you 2,000, the company gives you shares in a 3% global bonus pool. If you get 2 legs done, that bonus money is going to be in the neighborhood of $1,000. It's not a stagnant number. It's always moving up. So now you're at 5,000 for the week. We have a savings account that if you're making more than $250 a week, the company matches 15% more into a savings account. So it's another 500 a week for that. So you can see in the savings accounts, you can see there, if you got 3 legs doing 13,000, you're now making 5,500 per week in income without matching check. And that does also not include that 30% new volume bonus. This is from the team sales or base pay only. So that is 286,000 a year. Most people, not all, but most people can replace their full-time income with a $300,000 a year income. And remember, it will be significantly bigger when your matching check starts to go out. Could be double that or more. It is in a lot of cases, and people in the business with their matching check. All right, just remember the reason, because we're getting ready to show you the system of growth that facilitates this all. But one of the reasons that we don't use the smart links all the time, you can use a smart link to sell. I'm not going to even teach that right now, but I'm only going to be talking about bulk buying. But one of the reasons we bulk buy is that when we personally sponsor someone, we're able to put our 30 pack purchase on them, get paid 30% back on our own purchase. So all of a sudden that once I get it the first time, the second time forward, I get 30% back. So now I get $450 back of that $24.99 cost. So now I only have about $2,000 or $2,100 in my 30 boxes. So my profitability has become far greater now. But here's the other big thing. When I place that brand new person at the bottom of whatever pay leg I'm building, that 1,500 points now moves up through everybody above it. It could be 1,000 people that would get credit for it in either a pay line or power line. Either one is extremely important. And the other thing is you're helping that brand new person go ultimate. So just know that there's a lot of reasons that we buy in bulk and sell, although, it does add a layer of a little bit of work for us. Now, here is the last thing I'm going to really show you, but I am going to mention matching check before we move into the skinny drop system. But all it takes to optimize a leg, if you're newer and you don't have much of an organization yet, is you need 9 people to order 1,500 points of product. So it could be a brand new person joining a leg. They come in at top pay, order their 1,500 points. Or it could be someone that is really good at selling these drops online. And when they order an additional 30 pack, that's a 1,500 point order that comes in on that leg. So you just need 9. So if you can just imagine 3 legs of business going over a period of time, you've got maybe 100 people in each leg. And you just need 9 of those to either sign up or order a 1,500 point. And that optimizes the entire leg. Now, eventually, You want that whole leg to optimize on auto ships, which is a 100-point order, creates, you have 134 people in a leg that have a 100-point auto ship order, and that leg optimizes for the week. And then remember, there's a million other things going on, random purchases, other types of signups, other types of orders, a million things that are creating volume in these legs to get to that $300,000 year income with 3 optimized legs I just showed you. And I mentioned already, but just to reiterate, it was showing in that income. But when you're making more than $250 a week in this team pay, the company is matching an extra 15%. And then the last thing, this is really important because this is over and on top of the team-based pay, is that when you personally sponsor someone, even if you put them at the bottom of a leg, they're locked forever in your matching check. So when you personally sponsor someone, your first generation, you get a 15% match for life on their base paycheck. And when they sponsor somebody, 10%. But that's the other reason for being top pay, is because the first 3 generations of this matching bonus unlock for life if you're in at top pay. So really, really, really important. So let me switch PowerPoints real quick. Or maybe I actually moved it over. I did. Okay. So that brings us now to our training today. Like, how do we quickly is not the right word. How do we proficiently get everyone who wants to build a big business? How do we get those legs optimizing? Well, the more people that you have that are really good at posting and selling drops, the faster all of this volume creation is going to occur. We have what's called the skinny drop system, and the skinny drop system is really simple, and we're getting ready to train on it. But you download an app called Boards. There is an additional app out there now if people want it. I'm not going to mention it on this call. I'll let you kind of let your leadership follow up with that. But we start posting twice a day. We give you every post to make. A person only has to be willing to follow the instructions and basically spend that initial little bit learning the boards. Really important that you work messengers, because that's where you're going to use our scripts to convert those customers or those potential customers into customers and eventually into brand partners. And then this is what we're going to teach you today. I've got some really good ladies that are going to do this. But the number one Achilles heel of people in this business, it's the Achilles heel of everything in life, is called complacency. Like, everybody gets in, and initially they're working on motivation and excitement, and they do everything exactly right. But the people that are going to change their life are the ones that are going to be doing everything exactly right when the motivation and the excitement is no longer there. Because everything at some point is got it, like that's really worthwhile in time, is going to require you to work through the drudge, work through the valley, work through things not being as good as they were possibly one day. But one thing we're going to do today is we're going to give you all the tools to make sure that you can keep those sales high and keep those conversions high. And that is by adding stories and lives and adding new friends and joining boosting groups. We're going to cover it all. And I just want to remind you that that guy right there with that beard is where the whole skinny drop system came from. So can it work? I promise you it can work, because that guy right there bulldozing my land makes about $2,000 a week in matching check. The leg, I started with him about 2 years ago, now does about $250,000 in sales a week. And the girl there on the right was his only person he ever signed up. That is Robin. And she's really who the whole system was built around. She sold 1,200 boxes of drops before there was a boards, before there was an app. And I will tell you, I've heard people talking about the new app and the work associated with it and that kind of stuff. Robin would post 12 to 15 times a day. She was doing live, she was doing posts. It was unbelievable the intensity she went at it. And when her girls we started converting to brand partners that had bought drops, they came in, the Ashley Antleys, the Krista Williams, the Stephanie Wilsons, the Misty Isis, all of those girls that were drop customers that converted to brand partners, they came in with that same intensity. And I'll be sharing some things today that they saw. But Robin's been in about 2.5 years now. Her income is probably more than doubled. I don't even have a screenshot of it. But that's what Robin made in our pay plan the first 16 months. in the company, and she made about an additional 120,000 in retail sales, maybe more than that. It was quite remarkable watching what she did. So what you're about to see now is this whole system shared. So that being said, Christy, I'm going to turn it to you to kick us off on the basics of the skinny drop system. And again, anybody out there that wants to chime in and add to anything Christy's saying, I'll be chiming in, and anybody wants to ask questions. But Christy, if you don't mind, for the ones that don't know you, you now are making more than 10,000 a month. You have been for over a year. You're a single mom, cleaned houses for a living. You sold that company or gave that company to your employees. But you started because you saw a post of a box of drops, and then you just duplicated what you saw.
You got that right. So, yeah, I'm up here in Canada and I was scrolling through Facebook end of February 2024. So, I've been in the business for almost 19 months, I think, 19 months. And I saw a post, and if it wasn't for that post that Joni Budd made, I wouldn't be here and my team wouldn't be here. And, half of Canada probably wouldn't be here in Partner Co. So the system works, and you have to wrap your head around it. It took me a couple days, and you can even ask Joni about that. She was hounding me, and she was like, "You haven't started posting yet. You haven't." But I have tried doing these businesses in the past, and I would do all the things, you guys. I would try to create a post. I would do trade shows. I was out there. I was attending the Zooms. I was doing all the things. And I've never been able to build a team or a downline or any kind of real income. And what I mean by real income is income that can replace your income or residual income. So when I got the boards, it took me a few days to wrap my head around it. And I want to let you know that it's okay to tell your new brand partner that you felt the same way, that, it took you a minute. But the moment that I made that decision to just get out of my own ego, and that's what it is, it changed my entire life, because I scheduled out 2 weeks worth of posts and I just put it in God's hands. I put it in the hands of internet, and I didn't know much about it. And I sold 30 boxes of drops, and even sold that box of drops that was coming for me to get started on. That was the whole point of this, because I felt terrible. I was very, very sick. And just checking in with Joni as she continued to post, and she kept saying, like, I sold another box, I enrolled another person, and the fear of missing out was like huge. So that's why I took that plunge. So it's okay, embrace your person's fear, acknowledge that it can be a real fear to fire up these posts. But then you also have to let them know that there are more aspects to the system of posting. Like Todd says, if you're not posting twice a day, you're an idiot. But you have to be doing all the other activities that come along with our system of growth. So I'll just put in the chat right now so everyone can kind of see what I put out to my team is at about 10 to 9, before your 9 a.m. post runs, you need to jump on your Facebook. You need to add, I don't know, 3 to 7, 10 new friends, because you need to expand your reach. You need to go to their Facebooks, and you need to like, love, comment on their family photos, on their Halloween pictures, on their Thanksgiving, on their funny dog posts. And people like to also post what they're eating, right? So you just create that relationship, because then when your post runs at 9 a.m., you're going to share it to the boost groups. And I really suggest being in about 3 boost groups. We have many different ones in Messenger. We have an Instagram and TikTok boost group. We have a Telegram boost group. And that's where you're going to share your post to the boost group. You're going to go above and you're going to like and comment on minimum 5 other brand partners' posts. Make sure you're using more than 5 words. when you're commenting and maybe put a little emoji in there. And then you should be getting 5 to 10 comments from other brand partners as well. And what that's going to do is it's going to boost your algorithm, and it's going to push your post out to those brand new people that you friended. Because right now, on a regular day, only about 8% of your friends and followers on Facebook are seeing your posts. And that's something that I had to learn, because I thought, yes, when I first fired up my Facebook and just went all in, yeah, I was selling drops like crazy. In fact, I think I sold, I don't know, probably 120 in 40 days. Like it was very quick. But then it does start to slow down and you wonder, oh, well, what's going on? So you need to be expanding your reach
Hey,
because,
Christy, let me
yeah,
comment there real quick, because what Christy just said, there's two things that are going to occur here. Number one, the monotony of doing it every day over the course of a couple of years. Like nobody's ever created financial independence outside of a lottery winner in a day or two. Like it's at some point the excitement, the motivation, the new wears off. Now the question is what do I really want from this partner co-company? Is it worth my time to keep going? But number two is, and this is most important, and all of these things I've had to learn because I was not a social media expert, but like number one, there's a lot of your friends that don't see your posts. So if you're not building in the algorithms for a further reach, just the same old group of people see it, whatever that is, 100 people or so. Number two is that if we're all friends with each other, which is wonderful, but again, but we could have 3,000 friends, but if 2,400 of them already are using the drops, again, it's kind of like if you've ever been fishing in a small little catfish pond and you catch all the big fish out, you got to give time for new ones to grow or put some new fish in. It's the pond is empty. There's nothing left there to catch. So that is where all of this stuff that we're about to talk about comes in, because what this is doing is two things. One, it's restocking your pond with the better algorithms, getting more bigger fish off the bottom out looking for your bait. But number two is we're going to actually teach you how to actually restock your pond with more big fish. You're going to go actually put them in there. Okay, sorry, Christy. I just want to make sure for the ones that have no working knowledge at all, they understand what we're trying to get accomplished.
yeah, exactly. And you might think like you're going to get bored of posting the same post over and over. And you might even question how they're set up in the board, but it works. And you need to post it exactly how it is laid out in the first 4 weeks. And don't question it because it's proven and it works. So don't try to like pick and choose which post you think is going to work, or that maybe one of them, I know one of my brand partners last week said, well, I found that one might offend overweight people. But that might be the post that speaks to the person that needs it the most. So don't pick and choose, schedule them out as is, and then work your Facebook. And we all get busy. And I will admit that a lot of times I'm not posting my reels and my personal posts in between. And I will tell you for a fact that on the days and the weeks that I'm posting, about my kids, about my pets, about my travel, and funny things and different things like that, that's when people start to reach out, because then they realize you're not just a bot advertising drops. And so that's when you get the most comments. And make sure you're responding back to every single comment on every single post. Even if it's a brand partner saying, yes, I love the drops, you got to chime in there, because that creates activity on that post and engagement. And then Facebook will push that out to more and more people. Um, and that's key to working your Facebook. And
Christy,
also, yeah,
I was going to ask, and anybody else can chime in too, but I want to ask you like a couple of specific questions about
sure.
what I'm seeing here. So it says they're adding new friends. Tell us
Yes.
how to do that.
Okay, so there's a few different things that I do every single morning. Is Facebook has a little area that you can click on that says, people you may know. And so it suggests friends, and sometimes it'll suggest a lot of brand partners because we're all connected. But what I do is I scroll through the people who I may know, and I click on their Facebook and I take a look at them. I take a look at how many followers they have. I take a look at our mutual friends. If we have mutual friends that are brand partners, I usually won't friend them because, you know, there's other brand partners probably working on that person. But and then I like to see what they're doing and everything. And if I think that it's a good match, I'll just friend request them. And then a lot of times I'll send them a little messenger and say, hey, I saw we had a few things in common, or we're from the same area, or I really liked what you made for lunch yesterday. Can you share me the recipe? And, you know, because it is weird to add someone that you don't know. But I do think that everybody knows my story. Mary and I did not know each other. I mean, we had heard of each other, and Facebook kept recommending her as a friend to me. And I was scared to just send out a friend request to someone who I don't know. And it took me a few times, but once I did, within 3 hours, you guys, because I added her and I liked some of her posts. So within about 3 hours, she messaged me back and she partnered with me that very day. So when you step out of your comfort zone, but you do it with intention and you do it honestly. So you reach out and say, I know that we don't know each other, but you came up as a recommended friend because we had some things in common, and just develop that relationship and like some of their posts, and they will see your posts. And if some of them speak to them, they'll message you about the drops. Now, Todd's going through Mary's Facebook and she is working it. Like, she is on me, hounding me. You need to make some posts about your cat. She calls me all the time. You need to do more posts. So Mary creates a lot of content and she gets a lot of hits. And she also started on the app that we're going to talk about a little later to keep her on track. It is a lot of work, but it gives you an outline and general idea of content that you should be posting on. Another thing that is very, very important when your business slows down is to stay consistent, because people are watching. I had a brand partner come into my business in February who I didn't even know was watching my Facebook. And her first message to me was, okay, I've followed you and watched you for a year. And I'm going, you haven't even liked a comment. And she said, you posted your picture of you in the green dress. I want to fit into that dress. I want to do what you're doing, and I want to get started today. Now, she has sold, I don't even know how many, probably 600 boxes of drops by running the system. And she is in a small town in Saskatchewan of 3,000 people. But she stays consistent with her posting, and she's now converting all of these customers to brand partners. So when the things slow down, stay consistent because people are watching. You can get frustrated, reach out to your upline, figure out a game plan, get the motivation. But you can see Mary's Facebook has a lot of content in it, and she's now getting a lot of hits on her posts and on her personal posts. Another thing that I totally recommend is joining Facebook groups, and not network marketing groups, but maybe something that interests you. So, join an RV group if you like camping. Join a group on fitness. Join a group on cooking. Join a homeschooling group if you're homeschooling. Join these groups and develop relationships in these groups with people. So don't just go in on someone's post in those groups and say, oh, I've got drops, you got to try them. No, if somebody posts like, or you go in there and you make a post like, oh, my cat isn't feeling well, or I've been homeschooling someone, you know. So Mary can kind of maybe talk to that because she is in a lot of groups, and she develops relationships with people.
Before we hand it off to Mary to do that, going back, you've got two legs that are coming close or are optimizing every week.
Yeah.
And your number one person on one leg is Mary. The number one person on the other leg is Carmen. Both of those came from post. But then this is what I want everybody to understand is then you activated the rest of this series. Then you started doing Zooms. You actually
Yes.
flew to Kelowna,
Yeah.
a plane ride away to meet Carmen in person, actually get her signed up. You then followed up and onboarded her. And then with you and Mary, y'all are now going around doing drop talks and meetings. So I just want everybody to understand that if you want, like this series is roadmap to $1 million business and
Yes.
everybody doesn't want that, but if you do want that, it's a comprehensive plan. But this drop system or the app, whatever you're using, is a way to get constant leads coming to you.
Yes. And the key to, I mean, this is passive, right? Working your Facebook is considered passive recruiting, passive network marketing. And so if you really want to dive in and start making the big bucks, you got to get out there. You have to open your store every morning. And I tell my team this every single day. Like if you had a brick and mortar store with nutritional supplements and you did all the advertising, you had the flyers, you had the commercials, you did everything, you stocked your shelves, you learned about the products, and then you never went and opened your front door for your customers to come in, like that's what it boils down to. So imagine that all the advertising, all the learning that we're doing is stocking that store. And then you need to go and open it and you need to get out there. You need to wear your button. You need to speak to people. You need to go to networking events. And then you need to go to your brand partners, your up and coming ones, whether you sponsored them or not, they're on your team. And you have to get out there and you have to launch them. I know Deborah Bader drove all the way to Edmonton yesterday for a launch party, and it was hugely successful. So you have to get out there and do
Hey,
the
and
activities.
y'all keep talking, you and Mary, but
Yep.
I just wanted to tell everybody what you're about to see as they're talking. I was just with John and Christy Oki, Amy and Danielle in St. Louis. And this lady, Amy, made $50,000 with us in like her first 4 months. So I'm just going to like what I want you to, because one thing I
Yep.
always tell everybody is don't compare incomes, compare activity. So I'm going to
Yes.
scroll Amy's Facebook, but y'all keep going. I just didn't want to
Sure.
distract you.
So
Okay.
I'd like Mary to go through what she does in the Facebook groups that she has joined and how she's building relationships with people and how that's proving to be successful, because that's another way of working your Facebook.
Well, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so I needed to go beyond my Facebook friends list because I didn't have very many friends when I started, and I was adding friends as I went every day, like Christy said. But you also have to get into groups, and the way that I do it is I get into groups that I'm either interested in the content, I want to learn more, or I'm an expert at. And that way you can go into there and you can, if you're an expert, you can answer questions, you can help people that way. And then it will bring them to your Facebook because literally, if you're active in those groups, they will start to look at your content, add you as a friend, maybe. You'll develop some friendships and people will go to your Facebook. I join groups for RVing and I ask silly questions and I get tons of comments on those. And then people start to gravitate towards mine. The other thing you can do is when you've got something on your Facebook, like a reel or something funny, share it from your Facebook page to those groups. That way, if they click on it, it's going to gravitate them towards your Facebook instead of just going nowhere.
And then now, Mary, you have been following the system for 2 days. Maybe let people know what that kind of looks like over the last 2 days, because we want to be honest with people with this app. It's a supplemental app, and I truly believe that it can be useful for our teams if used correctly. And it's not replacing the system of growth in any way. You need to get your new person onboarded. And I think that's key. And that's where I see a lot of breakdown in our enrolling is people are scared to onboard them properly. So they're scared to say, okay, now that you're enrolled, I'm going to send you an app called the System of Growth. This is how you're going to sell your drops. You need to schedule out and make it a system, just like there's no other choice out there. So the people who aren't onboarding day one, they aren't getting their people posting, and then they come back to us and they say, it's not working. I don't have anyone posting. But it boils down to onboarding. And if you're scared to onboard your people, put them in group chats with your leaders. We'll onboard them for you. We'll love on them. We're not going to be pushy, but we're going to tell our story. We're going to love on them, and we'll onboard them for you, either using a funnel or our step-by-step getting started instructions that are in the boards.
So Christy, let me intercede there.
Yeah.
It is why what you just said just now is why people's businesses begin to break down. And this comes across in a negative way, but I don't mean it that way, because I have to evaluate my own self on building my new legs, because I don't have good leaders on my new legs yet. I just have normal people that I have to encourage, pick up, get them to operate on board correctly. But the breakdown occurs when the teaching stops, the duplication stops. There's not anybody doing three ways. There's not anybody doing drop talks. People stop posting. They don't even get the boards downloaded or the app, whatever route they're going to use there. And so like that is, and again, I self-evaluate. I don't ever think about other people when I'm saying things. I think about my own business. I have two pay legs I'm trying to grow right now. And one of my biggest weaknesses is slowing down and helping the new person start correctly and being there with them day in and day out early on. That can never be overstated how important that is, because people have fear, they're busy, they're distracted, they're not maybe motivated themselves yet because their belief system's still low. So, like, I can never overemphasize enough how important it is to. Matter of fact, Tammy Maltby, in my opinion, did one of the best trainings ever on an IPA call about a year ago, when she figured out that even with her good people, she had to stop, help them make their first post, help them take their before picture, help them take a couple glamour shot with the drops. And then I can't remember who it was when I was scrolling this morning preparing for this. Um, who was it? Maybe it was Amy, Danielle, one of the ones I was looking at. They might have even been you, Mary. But one of y'all wrote like a whole thing about no, I know it was Shannon McCullough. Shannon McCullough in Oklahoma City who did this. She wrote a little paragraph about herself being in perimenopause and the issues that it caused her, from fatigue, lack of libido. She went on and on in this whole thing. And then she gave her solution to how much the drops had helped her across the board. And I'll say that because I remember when Ashley Antley made a post that she had no more nights. She took a selfie of herself off a Peloton bike in a black little workout suit and wrote "no more night sweats." And it sold like 40 boxes. It was more powerful than the before and after. So all those little things just add up a crazy amount over time. Okay, sorry interrupting. I just wanted to talk about slowing down and getting the new person started.
No, for sure. You're so right. Post the posts as they're scheduled. And we get this question all the time. Well, I don't have my story yet. I want to see if the drops work. I don't want to start posting yet. Like, we get that all the time. The drops work. It's the people that don't. If you follow the system, the drops are going to work. And it's just like the S.O.G. The system works. So if you follow the system, it's going to work. And then when you have your first initial win, that's when you go in and you say, no more night sweats. I slept through the night. It's only been 4 days. And you start creating that narrative, because now people are going to start to follow you and they want to see what's next. And I think that's what got Mary was I stepped out of my comfort zone. And I did a couple reels where I was like, look how fat and terrible I am. I'm starting these drops. And then 4 days later, I said, holy cow, I didn't have to change my pajamas. And then a week later, I said, I'm down 8 pounds. 3 weeks later, 18. Like, so it's a process. You heard Popo this morning on the IPA say he has started a story, he has started a following. So anyone can get started and get started posting without their testimonial. We have thousands of testimonials. These products work so well, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. The system and the products work. So
and
make sure
Christy,
you tell that person that.
me
Yes.
scrolling through everybody's Facebook site this morning, I pulled off another 40 pictures this morning of ones I hadn't even seen before. Like, it's amazing the amount of data we have out there on these drops working. So get on some quality people's Facebook sites that are doing this the right way. Look how they're doing it, steal their content. I mean, that's what
Yep.
we do. Football coaches do that too. It's not just network marketers. Brent Palmer will tell you that we all go study whoever won this championship last year. What were they doing different than we were? And we go copy it the next year.
And the thing is, that you're going to get that, I want to see if it works for me first. That's when you put them in a three-way thread with your upline or someone that has a story, someone that's been posting, someone that started posting without their story first. And then you get them in contact with someone like that, that can like say, I had the exact same fear, acknowledge that fear. But the thing is that the drops may work differently for that person than someone, you know, I had a gal that only had 5 pounds to lose. She was a bodybuilder. She was like, I don't think the drops are working. I'm not going to share it. But the thing is, someone who's 300 pounds is going to have really great results quicker than someone who's a bodybuilder. So to hold that back and say you're not going to share, you're not going to post, is doing a disservice to everyone around the world, because everyone needs these drops. So,
by the way, I'm on a man's website now to show you that men can do this too. By the way, Popo's transformation is just unbelievable. Popo did not lose weight initially. He was only doing the business. And John Wadsworth, one of the owners, challenged Popo to lose 30 pounds. And he took the challenge and did it. It's freaking amazing. But I'm on Bob Budge. Keep going. I'm just going to show you that men
and I was going to say men, yes. So men lose weight quicker because they're less hormonally unbalanced than us women. Let's be honest here, right? So when you get a man on your team, they're going to be even more scared to fire up these posts because they don't want to look ridiculous. So you got to work with them. You got to love on them. You have to embrace them. But the thing is that 10% of our business is men, but most of the top earners are the men, because they are less dramatic. They are less hormonally involved. So love on your men brand partners. And we need more men in this system with us. And we need them to start posting just like we do. This isn't a woman's system of growth. This is a partner co system of growth. And it works whether you're a man or a woman. And it'll probably work even better when you're a man, because people are going to go, oh, well, I've seen all these women posting, but look at this businessman, or look at this man, or look at this construction worker who's posting about his health and his transformation and the hormonal changes that he's having. And so men can do this too, and they can be very, very successful, but they have to get out of their own head, their own egos, because they have a little bit bigger egos than us women. We want to just help everyone get healthy and wealthy and love on them. So men have to just step out of their comfort zone, step out of their egos. And when you start bringing men on the team, you will see your business start to change a little bit, because it's really interesting how that works. So, Mary, I just want you, before we end up closing off, like, I want you to tell everyone your experience over the last 2 days with your Facebook and what you've been doing with this app, how much work it is, because it might not be for the brand new person or someone who doesn't have technological skills. So I want you to just touch base on that a little bit, because I'm sure we're all thinking that.
Sure. So my day starts like every other day. I don't deviate from the system of growth. I post 9 and 3. I follow that system of growth. I've done that for the last 18 months, and I won't stop. I've kicked it up a notch. I do lives, a lot of lives. I'm maybe cooking dinner, or somebody wants to know what my routine is. I'm going to jump on and do a live. Facebook now is really pushing out reels. So get some reels going. If you don't know how to do reels, just Google it. You can get templates from CapCut. You can get templates from TikTok. You can get all kinds of templates and just put your pictures in there, put music to it, whatever. It's pretty simple once you start going, but get those reels going and stories. Never ever go a day without doing a story.
And
In the
Mary,
last,
are the reels and stories, you're doing all that on Facebook itself?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
So reels, stories, and post all on Facebook. You're not
yes.
going over to Instagram and other places. You're
No,
doing all
well,
the,
so my Facebook is connected to my Instagram. So anything that I share on Facebook is automatically going to Instagram. So those are the only two places that I'm going to. Um, the other thing that I do is lifestyle, you guys. You can't just post about Partner Co and Partner Co products and before and afters. You have to put your lifestyle in there. People want to know who you are. They want to follow a real person and get to know you. So if you're just doing the system of growth and nothing else, it looks really, really super spammy. I've seen a few and I've scrolled through, and that's all I see is before and afters. And honestly, I wouldn't go to them for a box of drops because I don't know who they are.
and Mary, the other thing that I notice on my own Facebook is that when I do a personal post, my son's football game or something like that, it gets way more interaction than the just the before and after pictures post. So that I'm assuming really helps build our algorithms when we do that.
It does. It's like it's anytime you do anything live, real, or stories or something personal, and people start to comment on that, and then you start to comment on those comments, Facebook says, oh, wait, something's going on here, and I'm going to share this out to more people. That's how you're going to get these non-followers looking at your stuff. I've been looking at my insights for the last couple of days, and my non-followers that are seeing my posts is increasing. And actually, my insight says that I am increasing by 30% already just in the last couple of days. So being really active on social media works. And I know that a lot of people work full time and it's hard to do that. You guys, I schedule this stuff out. I don't post it real time most of the time.
That's true. So Mary's on me like a dirty shirt, trying to get me to post more content because I need to. Let's face it. And people are going to do what their team leader is doing. So last night, actually yesterday, when I was sitting in my hot tub, I made a reel and then I scheduled out all my 9 and 3s for 2 weeks. And then I scheduled out 10 days of lifestyle posts, posts about my cat, my dog, my kids, Shelby's horse.
You did
Po-
all that. You did all of that last night, Christy. Like even
I,
your lifestyle post, you just went ahead and just got
I, s-
older.
yeah, I scheduled them all out. So today I had my 9 a.m. and then I've got a 10:30 post about my trip to Ontario, and then I've got a noon post about Halloween and how we ate too much candy, and then I've got a 1:30 post about Ontario again, or maybe it's my kids liking animals, and then I've got my 3 p.m. And so I sat there and I scheduled out on a Sunday night because my day and my week is really busy with my kids and my just everything going on. We are busy, but that's not an excuse. You can sit there and you can schedule it. I scheduled this all out in my hot tub. I just went through my phone, my pictures, and I created my lifestyle posts. So I have probably, I think, 20 or 30 lifestyle posts that are in the system now in Facebook that are going to share this week. So I'm going to see if that's going to make a big difference in my reach. And then I got to make sure I'm going in there and I'm commenting back on all of everybody's comments. And if somebody new comments, I'll go to their Facebook and I'll like their stuff, because that's what it boils down to, is you have to put the effort in. I don't want people coming to me and saying, well, it doesn't work. I'm posting at 9 and 3. Well, are you following up? Are you reaching out? Are you adding new people? Are you sharing to the boost group? Are you opening that store every single morning? And to me, the store opens with that IPA, or with even Brent Palmer's Coach's Corner. Get on there, get some motivation, or Marlene's, morning momentum call. get plugged in, get things scheduled out, and we can do this because it's very easy to schedule. It took me maybe a half an hour in the hot tub while I was drinking my burn and got it all scheduled for the week.
Okay, Christy. So I want to switch gears for this last 10 minutes. Then we're going to have
Yep.
5 minutes of people to ask questions at the end, or maybe slightly longer.
Yep.
So selling drops on social media or collagen, whatever it is that you're doing, is powerful. You're going to make a lot of retail money. You can do it forever. Some people love that. But if you're going to build a walk away income, a residual income, get time freedom, and if your goal here is to make significant income, you've got to have duplication. It's like network marketing is no different than franchising. Ray Kroc realized that one McDonald's could not make as much money as 1,000 McDonald's could. 1,000 McDonald's locations, Starbucks, like it amazes me. Every town I go to has like 5 Starbucks. There must be like 100,000 of those things in the world. But the owner of Starbucks realized that multiple locations could sell more coffee than one location. So it's the same thing here. The difference is in traditional franchising, it generally costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to go into business. Then you have a lot of fixed overhead associated with it. And then that's just you being the franchisee. To actually be the franchisor is crazy expensive to build a platform like that, and tremendous risk involved. And to get locations in the real world are just almost cost prohibitive in today's world. So it's almost a no-go for the average person. Here, for 30 bucks, we can build this franchise system out around the world. So we talk a lot about in this series the direct approach, just reaching out to people. But in this particular training, we're talking about the skinny drop system. So I just want to show you a couple of things in this system. I'm going to read this out and then we're going to talk this through. But one thing you've got to do is that when you sell a box of drops, this is probably, and again, this comes down to time, your focus, your energy. Like this is where the discipline comes in. And again, I'm not talking to anybody, I'm talking to me. When I sign up a customer, I have to do this too, or my percentages of success on a new growth is going to greatly diminish. And they're like, my excuse might be I'm working with other groups. Well, it's still an excuse. It's not going to happen if I don't do it. So I always say you can make money or you can make excuses. You just generally can't do both at the same time. So you just have to choose your pathway. And I have to remind my own self of that all the time. But it says you must text or message with your customer at least every 2 to 3 days, checking in. And I will tell you, there is a trick to that. People are negative by nature. If you give a person a chance to say something negative, they'll generally say that over something positive. So don't word it like, hey, do you like the drops? Okay, word it like this. Hey, are you loving the drops as much as me? Make them choose to be negative. Hey, is the weight falling off of you the way it fell off of me? Hey, are your nights feeling better like mine were? And then when something is they come back with you that something's not exactly right, fix it for them. And if you can't fix it for them, get somebody in your upline that's proficient. Michele McCay and mind is blank. And gosh, I'm in trouble now. But anyway, Michele McCay on Monday night runs her Drop Talk every Monday night. It's all up on her YouTube channel where she covers all the plateaus. She's had every guest expert in the company on those calls. Like, watch those yourself. Learn how to break the plateaus. Learn about upping the water intake, maybe doing a round of Restore X, maybe following the approved food list, maybe getting the drops in the tongue, under the tongue 3 times a day, or and then the night drops in Canada 1 time, or down here 3 times a day on the other drops, keeping them in the mouth longer, all the little tricks we know that can really boost people through it. But when you get, this is most important, when you get 1 or 2 positive responses, you've got to convert. And if you wait on the conversion, these drop customers will be fleeting on you, and you're going to look up one day and say, I don't have a team, although you sold 300 boxes of drops. So if you don't ask, you never get. So here is just an example. There's lots of texts that go out there. If you've got one that you're using that's working, you're more than happy to put it in the chat right now for other people to use or look at. But this is just one that I see a lot. It says, hey, you're going to need another box soon. I hate for you to pay me retail. Would you be interested in getting a discount or learning how to get them for free? I'm actually making really nice money daily from my sales. I can teach you this. Just let me know where you stand. And I've seen 1, 2, 3. Tell me if you're a 1, you just want to keep buying retail. 2, you want to get them inexpensive, or 3, you want to actually make money at it too. It doesn't matter which one. If you've got one, throw it in the chat. Let everybody kind of pick what they want. But it doesn't matter which one you send. You just got to send one, because without asking, you're never going to get. And then this is my conversion, because I'm a team builder. I'm not necessarily a drop salesperson by nature. That doesn't mean that if you are a drop salesperson by nature, the building a secondary is perfectly fine. We all have our strengths. But when I get the initial, like, I'm using the scripts verbatim until I get how much are they, or how do I get them, whatever the question is, and that's where I will send this. I do this before I ever sell the first box. I say I sell them for 167 retail. Apply whatever math it is that you sell. Just change it out. But you can, and I just typed this up so I can see I've got a misspelling. You can buy the virtual store and business I did and get them for less than $100 a box. The reason I say it that way, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a 4-pack, 10-pack, or 30-pack. And obviously, you got to change that math a little bit in Canada. And we have a system you can get them for free and even make another income part-time if interested. And I just wait for the reply. And they're going to tell me, I just want to buy them, or I'm interested in getting a discount, or I want to make money too. And then that is the importance of last week's Zoom. Last week's Zoom was about the 3-way and the 2-on-1 Zoom in person, and how to use somebody that's proficient at overcoming objections. So if I get any type of interest there, then I'm going to call Christy or whoever my upline is and say, hey, I've got somebody interested in actually joining. Can you help me present or answer their questions? And then we 3-way them in. Just go back and watch series 2 to get an understanding how to do that. And by the way, Sarah's going to be labeling all of this 8-week series, so you'll actually be able to go back and watch it all in the order that you want. You'll have the name of what we're talking about, but it's going to be important to understand the roadmap to $1 million business requires you to be good at all 8 series: tap rooting, launch parties, 3-ways, learning how to present, keeping a passive flow of people coming in, buying boxes, and converting to brand partners. Like, everything in the business is equally as important. I know there's an app out there now. There is no app going to make anybody rich, but it can add an additional layer of discipline, reminder of things to do every day, a cohesive system to get it done. So especially the analytical minds that like that kind of stuff, it could be a great addition. But there is no tool that makes you the big money. It will all be you and getting proficient at each one of the steps in this 8-part series we're doing. Okay, Christy, back to you.
All right. I don't know what else you would like to touch base on before we close out.
Let's open it up. And if anybody let's just put this criteria out there. If you're making more than $10,000 a month in income, and or you've sold more than 250 boxes of drops, if you want to give some advice here, we want it. And then if you have like at any level of income, tell us if you have a question, and we'll take maybe 5 or 10 minutes and answer questions to make everybody proficient. Go ahead, Billy. I see your hand raised.
I just wanted to know, or I just would love for you to just put a bow on this with the importance of posting, but then boosting. Can we just put that little bow on top of this for if somebody's new and they're listening to this as a training?
Yes. So in my opinion, watching this whole thing unfold, maybe the most underrated thing that we have that we don't talk about enough are boosting each other's post. But I will tell you, there's another piece of the puzzle, that when you get large boosting groups and it gets binged all the time, that people tune it out. So in my opinion, just watching this now for 2 years, sometimes you have to recreate boosting groups, take some out, add new ones in, join new ones, maybe be a part of multiple ones. But Christy and Mary and Billy too, if anybody else would add in, let's talk about what is the boosting group, how it works, and then maybe how to make it most proficient for all of us.
Yeah, so our boosting group is what it is in Messenger or Telegram or wherever your boost group is, it is made up of brand partners. And what you do is you take your post from Facebook and you share it into that group and you say, love, like, comment, help me boost this out. And then what happens is the next person that comes in will see that post, they'll click on it, it takes them directly to your post. And then you love it, like it, comment, but make sure it's 5 words or more, because there's a algorithm with Facebook that it works better if it's 5 words or more. So you can share your story. You can say, yes, I love these drops. I'm down 40 pounds. Or yes, I had no more night sweats after 4 days, and just validate that person's post. But make sure you're reading what the post is. So you're not commenting something totally, wrong to what the post is. Because I've seen that too, where people just randomly put out the same comment. So make sure you see who they're posting about. And if you've met that person or has a selfie with that person, throw it in there and say, oh my gosh, I just met Kim Gray at PXP and here's her and I now. Or, oh, I just met Mary, or I just met Todd, and throw that in there, because that also validates that that person is real.
Facebook doesn't like it when you copy and paste all those comments in, so make them a little bit original. I mean, your keyboard will automatically pop up words, so it doesn't take that long. I go one better, and after I've boosted 5 above me and I've gotten the comments in my posts, I'll also comment on those comments, and then I'll go and boost theirs too. So, I mean, the more active you are, the more Facebook is going to push you out to more non-followers.
And set a timer. Like, why not set a timer for these things? So once you've shared, you've commented and everything, on your coffee break, like, you guys, I started doing this while I was cleaning houses. So I just set timers and I'd quickly go in and do this and do that. And it works. I mean, you can give us all the excuses in the world as why you're not working your Facebook, but I know it's doable if your why is big enough and you want this bad enough.
I
So
think the magic number is, I think it's 12 comments within like 10 minutes or 30 minutes. I can't remember. But if you
Does
can
it
set a
count if you
timer.
comment back, Mary? Like if somebody commented on your post and you comment back to them again, does that count as one of those?
It does count as one of those. But so
Yeah.
like if you set a timer, like Christy said, to get into the boost group shortly after your post goes, and get in there and comment on all those comments, there is a timer on there that will push it out even further.
Typically you want early engagement and early activity on your post, but typically it's great if it's between 30 and 60 minutes after you've posted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anybody
it's
else want
key
to
to
add something
be-
in or ask a question?
Yeah, it's key to be adding your people to boost groups and tell your new person. It all boils down to onboarding and loving your new person, you guys. Onboard them, show them the boost group, show them the posts, and just walk them through it and help them, because that's what makes our system duplicatable. And that's where you're going to have more success, because people are going to sell their drops. They're going to have money in their pocket. They're going to continue to work the system the quicker you can get money in their pocket.
Hey guys, I've got to jump off for an appointment, but can I ask you real quick related to that? Have you found that it's more beneficial to join groups that are outside your local area? Is there a way that you can do that? Because we've got several on the team in the same area, so we're boosting each other's posts and we all know the same people. So is there a way to find out how to get outside that niche in order to expand?
Yeah, so that's why I say join 3 boost groups. So a lot of
Hey.
us have our local team boost groups.
Hey,
But
Christian,
then, yeah,
Sarah, will you, Amy Hoelscher, if you can, I want Sarah to put you up too, because Amy's the one that sold like 400 boxes in a couple months. I want her to come in and comment too, if she can. Keep going. I'm sorry. I just saw her.
Yeah.
She was here.
No, so yeah, I mean, follow the people and reach out to the people that are selling all the drops, because they're doing something a little different and they're probably working their Facebook a little bit harder. So maybe Amy, yeah, you can bring us up to speed. How did you sell all those drops and make all that money right out of the get-go?
Yeah, 50,000 our first 4 months, and I just
Congratulations.
Go ahead, Amy.
Sorry, I'm at St. Jude's with my son for his checkup, but we just got out. So just literally doing what Christy said, being consistent. I knew I was going to be here all week, well, not all week, 2 days. So I did the same thing. I scheduled all my posts out because we get busy and life happens. And I was like, I'm not going to not do this. So you just have to literally commit to the process and detach from the outcome and keep doing it. And people are watching. I have gotten so many people, Christy, like you said, like, oh my God, I saw this. And I'm like, you've never commented, you've never liked, but they're watching. They are watching every single thing you do, which also be a billboard for your business. I have my button. I'm walking around the hospital. Last night, my son and I got here. We came down to the gym. I wore my skinny drop shirt and the lady's asking me, like, be a billboard for your business and not only wearing the products, but living the lifestyle. And I will say my husband and I were like half in the first 2 months, and we both made the decision, like, we're going to eat healthy. We're going to follow this 100%. Like, we're going to do this. And I'm down 35 pounds and he's down over 45. And people are noticing. So when I say they're watching, they're not only watching your posts, they're watching what you're doing. So don't only do this, be the business. And that's my tip, but be real. I also message people. Like, you can't just do the post. This business is about connection. So, you know, I heard somebody, I forget who, I was like listening to the doctors, but I posted about or messaged somebody about their alcohol recovery. Because that's what I do. But reaching out to people and just noticing their lifestyle and how this can fit in and how this can help them is huge. So don't just be about the sale, be about loving on people. And when you do that, the rest will just fall into place.
And Amy, I'm assuming that's a part of your ability to convert so many to brand partners. What's your conversion secrets?
So people keep asking me that. I'm doing the messaging out of boards that shares, you know, when you get it from me, it's $167. If you do the membership, you save this much money. And people want to save money. I also use what Christy taught me, Christy Oki, and I ask them if they can give me 90 days to commit to this. And if they do that, they need to do, you know, I sell a lot of the 2x2. So they do the 2x2 and then we set up their subscription and that's their 90th day. And it's all about just how you word it with people.
And then
they start to see the company and the money, and I plug them all in like they're going to do the business, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, even
That's
if they're
what I
getting
do
the
too.
discount. And so they start to see how genuine and friendly and loving people are here, and people want a place to belong. Like, this world is so negative and hateful and terrible that we aren't, and we can be that positivity and sense of love for people, and they need that.
Awesome. That's a great way to probably end, unless somebody has another comment or anybody have a question for these ladies.
We do have one hand raised.
I did want to share really quick too, Todd, and I can share it. The onboarding, I love all of this. I had a huge team and onboarding is huge. I created a partner coach checklist, which I am more than happy to share with anybody because I am a list person and it keeps me organized. And again, with being busy, I can make sure all of my new people are getting the same information. And it has links for IPA every day. It has the links for all the Zooms. It has literally everything in there. So if anybody wants that, just message me and I can send it to you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, get it to Sarah. And Sarah, if you don't mind, we can just throw it in the chat tomorrow morning.
Of
on
course.
IPA.
I'll send
Thank
it to
you,
her.
Amy.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
We do have 3 hands up. We have Cheryl and then Tracy and then Amber.
Good morning from California. I want to say thank you first to you all. I just love this company. It took me a year to follow you and follow Luz, but this is so awesome. But my question today is, I do work in a clinic all day and I do work about 32 hours a week. I can get my posts in, but during the day, my problem is the boosting. So my post goes out on time, but then my problem is I sometimes can't boost it until later in the day. Is there a solution for that?
I would think what you just said, I would say 80% of the people would probably struggle with the same thing. So if anybody besides Christy and Mary have an answer there, throw it out there because that's a great question.
Okay.
We do have 3 hands up. We have Cheryl and then Tracy and then Amber.
Okay.
Good morning from California. I want to say thank you first to you all. I just love this company. It took me a year to follow you and follow Luz, but this is so awesome. But my question today is, I do work in a clinic all day and I do work about 32 hours a week. I can get my posts in, but during the day, my problem is the boosting. So my post goes out on time, but then my problem is I sometimes can't boost it until later in the day. Is there a solution for that?
Well, I think I'll just speak from experience with some of my brand partners that do work full time. They do it on their coffee breaks. Even if they just run to the bathroom, it takes 5 minutes sitting on the can.
Okay, so does it matter what time that you boost, even though you boost later than the post came out?
I mean, it's better to boost right away, but if you can't, maybe you can put your first post out just before your first coffee break or before you know you're going to have a
So
bathroom
Christy,
break.
you would adjust, like if you knew you were going to have a break every day at the same time, you would adjust that morning post to fit that?
I probably would. Yeah. I would adjust it. So if I had a coffee break at 10, 10:15, maybe my first post would go out at 10 or 10:15. So then when I'm on my break, I can jump on my phone and I can just boost it, like, share, comment, blum, done. And
Okay,
then your afternoon one. You got to make this system work in your life as well, because you'll have more success if you're not feeling frantic about it, like, oh no, now my post went out at 9 and it's a 10:30 and I haven't done anything.
exactly.
So I mean, the system works at 9 and 3. That's the recommended time because that's what Facebook, that's the busiest time on Facebook. But make the system work for you. Fit it into your daily routine so it's not stressful, so you're not overwhelmed, so you're having success, and that it's doable for you and your family, your lifestyle, and your job, because you'll see greater success when you feel calm about it and you're positive about it, because that's what your brand partners are going to see. And you're going to say, well, I work full time and I just fit it in.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's kind of the same with the drops. The drops you're supposed to take before the meals, but I tell everybody, just get them in your mouth 3 times a day. So
Yep.
if you look it up, the 9 and 3 came from, that's just if you're going to choose a perfect time to post, that's it. But in my opinion, I know I've got school teachers that can't set something to post automatically because they're not allowed to post during school hours. So like adjust accordingly, I think would be way more important than having it exactly at those times. That way you can boost it and do all the things you need to do. I agree with Christy totally. Anybody else can comment that's really an expert there, but I think you're right, Christy.
That's
thank you so much.
100% correct. Yes.
Thank you.
So, sorry, I did have a question about the follow-up. So, Todd, I was using the script that you had given with regards to when people are asking about the price of the drops. And I'm just not getting, I'm not getting anything back. Like I had a couple people say, never mind, but like in one day, I had 11 people reach out to me, use that, and then I just seem to be, it's like crickets. So what would you say on follow-ups if people just kind of go really quiet on that?
In regards to the pricing, I don't
Yeah.
usually send
Well,
out the pricing right away. I'll send that, are you a 1, 2, or 3 first? So
so what say what that is, Christy? Because Tracy, there's multiple ways to skin this cat, and the conversion, in my opinion, is the hardest part. So like that may have to tweak just a hair for each individual to make it work. So go ahead, Christy. What is your 1, 2, 3?
So the 1, 2, 3 that I use, and in Canada, because our 4-pack is the 200 PV for activation, I modified the script to say it typically takes 120 days to get balanced out because I want that 4-pack. And then I say, so are you a 1? Do you want to purchase 1 box at full retail? Are you a 2? Would you like a wholesale pricing on that 4-pack? Or number 3, do you want to be like me, get your drops for free and post on social media? So then they'll usually come back and they'll usually say, well, what's the wholesale pricing? And then I'll try for a conversion rate out of the get-go again. And I'll say, okay, a 4-pack costs $715 as a customer in Canada. But if you enroll for a one-time fee of $37.95, you get that for $500. So right there, they see over a $200 savings on that 4-pack. And then if they say, oh, well, that sounds way better. And I said, okay, I'll send you an enrollment link, but I would like to show you how we post. And you can actually, once you sell 3, yours is free and you've made $100. And so always be converting on the sale. And did you notice I never told them how much that first box was? And so I rarely even get to that price because in Canada it's pricey. It's $236 for one box for 4 weeks. And that's a lot of money. So if you can show them the benefits, sell 3, yours is free. Sell 3 or share 3, yours is free. And then if they say, well, I don't really know how to do it, and say, that's perfect. We have a system. Take a look at my Facebook. I will give you absolutely everything you need. You don't even need your first testimonial. I'm sure your mom, your coworker, your neighbor, who do you know that might want one of these 3 boxes? And so always be showing, always have
And
the solution to their problem.
And I have one last thing in, Tracy, is that I know that if I fill out like some type of interest in a mortgage or a house or like, and then the real estate agent, mortgage broker, whoever it is, whatever I've reached out to responds back to me, finally, sometimes I'm not paying attention to that anymore. Like I don't, like it just came in at the wrong time. I don't even look at it. And then, but a lot of them will send it again the next day and again the next day and again the next day. And finally, like, oh my God, let me just see what they're saying. And so, like, not in a bugging way, but us staying in front of them a little bit makes a massive difference over time. So that I think would probably be the biggest needle mover than exact wording, is that
Yeah.
nobody has an emphasis on this like we think they do until they get in. Like it's just
Yep.
kind of a blip in their radar for the day until they understand the value of it all.
Yeah. And Tracy, you could even say to them, if they go quiet after you give that price, check back in and say, hey, I noticed you went quiet after I told you what the price was. Did that kind of scare you? Because I can show you how to get them for free or even at a discounted price. So acknowledge their fear, love on them, and then do the conversion.
And I want to add in one last thing that I learned from the Europeans on some of these vacations, because they were ahead of us on the social media stuff in the beginning. But all of those guys in Europe are really big on lifestyle. When I say lifestyle, I don't mean family. I mean, like when I was scrolling through Bob Budd's Facebook just a second ago, he had a picture of sitting in traffic and then a picture of him and his wife standing on the beach. And he says, then and now. Like adding in some lifestyle, you'd be amazed how many people are way more interested in bettering their finances than they are losing weight or balancing the hormones. And if you don't put that out there on your social media, they don't really know. So it's really just a drop decision to them. They need that whole encompassing look at your Facebook. Oh, Tracy's weight is changing or hormonal balance, but Tracy's making money. Her life is beginning to change. I want some of that. So how we present ourselves on social media plays a big role in that conversion.
Okay.
I see the same thing with Mary. She's posting out there riding her horses at 11 a.m. instead of being at work. So all those things add up over time. Okay. We probably need to get to the end unless there's another question out there.
We have 2 more hands, Amber and then Beth.
I don't have a question, but all this information is great. I'm not going to double up on anything, but I am going to tell you that what I like with follow-ups, because sometimes that can get away with me, you know, the 1 day, 2 day, whatever follow-ups. If you have an iPhone, there is a spot on there where you can schedule out follow-up text. So you can actually hit the plus button and put it there just like you would on professional mode.
Sarah, share your screen and show that real quick, because that was the biggest learn I've had in a long time when you showed me that last week.
Oh, yep. Give me just a second. I have to come in on my phone. Give me just like 10 minutes. Go ahead and answer Beth's question and I will get that up.
Go ahead, Amber. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's huge. I forgot that iPhones do that now.
No, you're all good. That's all I wanted to say. So she's going to show it. I'm going to let the other question go.
Okay, so just know what Sarah's about to show you. There's actually a way to schedule text now, not just your Facebook post. So, like Tracy, you could take everybody out there, and I'm sure you're communicating with them on Messenger, so I don't know if there's a correlation there. You may have to have their number to do it. But you could schedule out over the course of 5 or 6 or 7 days. Like we probably should put that in boards as a script follow-up that everybody could schedule posting out, that because if we do it on our own, we have to muster the courage every time to do it on our own. But if we put it out there and it's just going to automatically drip on them for a period of time, it takes the emotion and the feeling out of it. I think that's a huge, huge deal. That's massive, Amber. Thanks for adding that in. I hadn't even thought about that.
That's amazing. I'm going to put that in the board as soon as as soon as we get that figured out. I'll put it in the board in the Canada and the US.
Hey,
Okay,
Todd,
go ahead and take the last question, And then
I
Sarah,
have to
go
say,
ahead.
from a standpoint of when I learned that about scheduling text a few months ago, and I actually forget to share that even on my team page because I think everybody knows it. And I mean, somebody, a top leader the other day said, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "What? You don't know about this?" And so oftentimes we all do get caught up in our everyday life that we forget to share something so valuable. It has changed my follow-up with my droppers. I will tell you, it has
Michelle,
been
you may be
so
in better
valuable.
position than Sarah to share your screen and show us how to do that real quick. I
I've
can
got it
make your
right here,
colors.
actually.
Okay, you
Oh,
ready? All
good.
right, go ahead.
Yep. And someone asked, could you also do this for Android? You can.
Oh, good. All
Let's
right.
see.
iPhone is the way, you guys, though.
It is. So, for instance, I send Todd Rowland a text message every morning to let him know of his schedule that's for today, right? So, what you do, the little plus sign, you hit the plus sign, go down to where it says send later. I want to remind him that he has some Zooms in the morning. So, I'm going to schedule. I'm just scrolling using my finger. Did not mean to do that. I want to send it to him at 6 a.m. in the morning. And then you just start sending out. I'm going to type, good morning, sir. Here is your schedule for today. And then after I send him his schedule, I get it all sent, ready to go. Make sure it's for tomorrow at 6 a.m. I hit the up arrow that's just down there to the bottom right of where the text message is. And it is going to send to him. It's going to send later tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's that easy.
And Sarah, is that available in Messenger too?
I
know?
don't think
I
so,
don't
honestly.
think so. Mm-mm.
No, it's not.
Okay, so we need a person's telephone number. So that boils down to getting their contact information.
I'm sorry, where was the plus sign that you started with?
The plus sign is going to be over to the left when you go to type out a text message. It's typically how you upload, like when you send a picture to someone. It'll give you options of camera, photos, stickers, Apple Cash, audio, send later. You're going to want to click on send later and then make sure you adjust the time and date that you're wanting it to send.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, what an amazing day. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Mary, Sarah, Michelle, Amber, Amy, everybody that contributed today. It was freaking awesome. I'm like, this is not my expertise. Every single thing that we have trained on today, I've learned. So I'm a classic example that you can teach an old dog new tricks. And you just have to be willing to learn them. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody out there, for every day adding something new or figuring something out to make this whole system better. But I will tell you the one thing that matters the most, and that is finding a way to be consistent after the excitement and the motivation has worn off. This is a business. A business has lots of ups and downs, valleys and peaks and valleys. Like, don't get off the train in the valley. That's the most important thing, because you will come out if you don't. And if you're at the peak, just understand there may be another dip, but what you're looking for every time is the valley's not as low and the next peak is a little higher. And that's going to be the course forever in business. And it doesn't matter if it's network marketing or traditional business. Things are not the same every day, every week, every month, and every year. But this company works. It's here for the long term. Our products are phenomenal. Our pay plan is phenomenal. And the only thing that we have here that we can't control is getting enough quality people in our business where it becomes solidified. And we obviously, the better we get, the more that happens, because we're able to pour into people and help them get better quicker. But again, we're a little bit limited until we find a couple of people on a leg that will allow us to work with them, and just don't get frustrated when you don't have it. Brent, we all go through the same thing. I've been working on a new leg for some time, and I finally got, I think Brian's on here, but I finally hit Brian after about 5 or 6 months of working it through people, that somebody's actually consistently trying to work it now every day. Before, I was just trying to push a noodle. It didn't matter my knowledge bank. If I don't have people willing to listen to my knowledge, it's zero. Don't get impatient with yourself. Just be consistent and go change your life. And that goes back to Christy saying, what is your why and what is your desire? What are you trying to get accomplished? And on your bad days, just ask yourself, here's maybe the best thing I could tell you. Kim Gray's sponsor sold his business for lots of money. he's re-signed up in her downline now. Like I always say, just because you quit Partner Code doesn't mean you're going to achieve your dreams. So if you want your dreams, you might have to stick here and get out of the valley. You just have to find your way, because a lot of times traditional jobs aren't going to get you where you want to be. So everybody out there have a blessed day, and thank everybody for contributing today.
And I have a training for onboarding your new brand partners at noon Mountain Standard Time today. Sarah put the link in chat, and
Put
I'll
it
be
out there one more
going.
time, Sarah, in case I didn't see it when it went through either.
Okay.
Of course,
So
give me
I'll be
just a second.
going through how to schedule step by step, and then Mary and I do a role playing on how to follow up with your customers and overcoming objections.
Awesome.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Mary, for y'all's help this morning. Greatly, greatly appreciated.
Record that by any chance, Christy?
Yes, I record it, and it's for US and Canada.
Where will it be
Chris-
when you record it, Christy? Where do you put
On my
yourself?
YouTube page.
And that's just Christy Walsh?
It's Christy Walsh, and then I think underneath it says Body Balance Builder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christy. Thank
I'm
you,
glad
Mary.
you said that because I was not sure what your YouTube channel was. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a
You
good
all
day,
have a wonderful
everybody.
day.
Everybody have a great one.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.